to get my point across. But it is probably better if I don't have like commentary, or if I do, if I just don't look at it or read it, if that makes sense. I'm just going to go grab some water because I'm going to post this video afterwards as a clear video. So, I don't know if I can actually edit a live before I post it, can I? Otherwise it's going to be awkward because I'm like fixing my hair and stuff. And my phone is low on battery. Okay, great. Love that for me. Cool. So let's just take this further away so I can't see. So, things are always working out for you. This is something that I've had as a screensaver on my phone, and that I constantly remind myself, because we need reminders more than we need to learn, but the reminders come through learning. So it's almost like, the analogy that I would use is like the 50 First Dates. The girl has daily amnesia, like every single day she wakes up and she has to be reminded again, like this is your life, like you don't need to freak out, everything's fine, like here's all the good things that happened. That's kind of what you need to do with yourself, if that makes any sense at all, which I know it will make sense to people that want to understand. That dog is having a good time. So yeah, things are always working out for me. I guess like I don't want to push the noodle too much in terms of trying to force other people to feel better. If you want to be depressed and you want to list all the reasons why your life sucks and you want to be mean to people, that is your prerogative. You have free will. It will not affect me, but I think because I have an empathetic side, I think, well, that would suck. Let's try and help bring these people. So I'm not going to push the noodle in that way. Pushing the noodle means like trying to help people that are not in a place of wanting to be. When I say help as well, it's not that anyone needs to change. Like you don't need to do anything. You're perfect as you are. You don't need to do anything. I'm just going to turn off those things here. Okay. So when I say like help, I want it to be clear, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. As you are is perfectly fine. You're not broken, you don't need to be fixed. This is just something that is most certainly helpful at upgrading like the person you are and also how you feel. Because like statistics, at least, we know that many people are they're either unhappy or they feel like they are living in lack. And those, I'm not going to be reading any. I was going to try and turn the comments off. I'm not going to read any comments because it's about the comments. So, things are always working out for you. That is something that I've had as a screensaver, and it doesn't reflect when like I'm saying it here and you're seeing like a nice place and it looks like I'm look nice, looks like I've got a nice life, and it's like, well, easy for you to say, and it's like, well, I've done so much work on myself, so yeah, it is easy for me to say now, but like I have truly had like the dark night of the soul, if that makes any sense at all. Truly. And we need reminding more than we need learning, but through learning we get reminding. Earlier I was explaining that it's like that movie 50, I was going to say 51st, is it 51st Dates or 101st, whatever. It's like Drew Barrymore, 50, 101st Dates, whatever. And she was Adam Sandler, and and she has like this condition, right, where she can't remember the next day. And we're kind of like that when it comes to our mindset. We need to remind ourselves every morning. We need to play that movie every morning of like, no, your life is actually good. This is how things are, blah, blah, blah. Because our human condition almost resets us in that way. And we forget certain things. And there's no way of going around it. It's not that you need to learn something like you haven't learned hard enough. You have. It's not that. It's just understanding that the semantics of it. It's like when you learn to play a sport, right? And it looks really, really complicated from the outside, and then you learn how to play it, and you're like, oh, that makes sense because that's going that way and that's going that way, and those all work together. Same sort of thing. So, believing that everything always works out for you. What happens? Everything always works out for you. But there are still going to be times in your life, in all of our lives, everyone here that is listening, and everyone's going to watch this video afterwards, every single person is going to have times in their life where things suck for them. You are going to have losses. You are going to have inconveniences. You're going to be angry. You're going to be sad. All of those things. You're going to feel negative emotions. It is normal. It is part of the human experience, and it is absolutely absurd to deny that that is real. And when that happens to us, like it does for everyone, because we all have it happen. That's the thing. Like, nobody is exempt. It's not that like someone's good looking enough or they're rich enough that they just don't ever experience bad things happening. That is not real. Everyone does. So that is not comfortable. So when bad things happen, this is where almost everybody, including myself, trip up. Because when bad things happen, you react. And you react, even if you don't react externally, like you don't say anything to anyone, you've got past the point of blaming people, like, oh, it's their fault, so you don't do that. But it is very difficult. I want to show you the view because it's really pretty. It is very difficult to be nice to yourself. It is, I've said this before, it is so much easier to be depressed than it is to be not depressed. Shit, I'm gonna sit in this hammock. I didn't think of that. Genius. Move, wait. Get my vape. Can we see? Peace out, A-Town. Boom, boom, boom. No, so, yeah, it is way easier. That is, my bikini top that is poking through. It is way easier to be depressed than it is to be happy. It is way easier to be poor than it is to be wealthy. But, like, when someone is good at something, right, like they're really good at doing what they do, like a really good basketball player like Michael Jordan, they make it look effortless. And that's because they have a different operating system. And this is the whole thing I'm talking about when I say like everything always works out for me. I'm talking about my operating system. But, and you'll notice this with people, like Elon Musk thinks it's easy to repopulate Mars. Like, think about the problems that we have and what we think is hard. He thinks it's not hard to populate Mars. Like, just let that digest for a second. He's not any better than any one of us. That's the thing. Everyone has the same abilities. He just has, like, almost delusional self-belief, and he went through, if I can use, I wouldn't say I'm like a huge fan or like non-fan of his, I'm kind of neutral on that, but if I can use him as an example, he went through, and you'll find this with most people that you admire, They go through phases where everyone doubts them, everyone calls them crazy, they lose all their money, and they have to pull something out of inside of them, because if they don't, that's it. And that's why when people ask me for advice and they say that they're